Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen. It is May 2020 and we live in Toronto. And about a week and a half ago, the temperatures were below freezing and there were snow flurries. And today it's 32 or 33 degrees outside, an absolute scorcher for so early in the season, which has got me thinking more and more about summer barbecues. So earlier today I made a cabbage salad and I fried off some bacon to sprinkle on the top just before serving, which has left me with some bacon fat in the bottom of this pan. Not quite enough, so I'm going to supplement it with the bacon fat that I keep on the back counter. I want about 3.5 tablespoons of bacon fat in the bottom of this pan. And we are going to saute off these onions. And saute might be a strong word. We're really looking to sweat them down, get them translucent, and almost have them break down completely. That's coming together nicely. Now the heat isn't on very high. I've got this set on 5 out of 10, so halfway. Just enough to keep it hot so that the onions break down. So I have some of our spring garlic. If you have regular heads of garlic, just go ahead and use that. I find that I have this garlic, so I'm going to use it. That's pretty much the only reason. It does have a slightly different flavor than the garlic that you would buy at the supermarket, but not so much that you're really going to notice. And that just goes in and starts to get heated. Pretty much as soon as the garlic hits the pan, it's going to become fragrant. And that's when you want to add in the spices. So I have oregano, I have dried hot mustard, I have chipotle chili powder, and ancho chili powder. And I'm just going to stir those together and get the spices to bloom. You don't want to let this go too long because you don't want the spices to burn. So pretty much in the length of time it takes you to measure out some ketchup. Now this is our homemade ketchup. You're going to notice that it is darker and chunkier than most homemade ketchups, or most ketchups in general. Oftentimes Julie and I will let it go a lot longer to develop a really deep, earthy flavor, and we won't blend it at the end, mostly because we're not using it for grilled cheese sandwiches. For grilled cheese sandwiches, you really need to use that electric red stuff from the grocery store. But for this, you could definitely use the stuff from the grocery store. It will be just fine. It's going to bring all of the right components to this recipe. So stir that in. Next in, we need some soy sauce, and I'm just going to free pour. Full ingredient list is in the description box below the video. And I think that's about right. So we'll stir that in. While it's cooking down, I'm going to add some vinegar, any vinegar you want. This is one that I particularly enjoy. It also needs some Worcester sauce, and this is the stuff that we're experimenting with here at home in the kitchen. Homemade. It's not quite Worcester sauce, but you know what? It has all of the same flavor components and is absolutely amazing in everything that I've cooked it in. If you have store-bought Worcester sauce, use that. It's going to work just the same. So I'm going to put in a couple of spoonfuls of this. And we'll give this a stir just to start bringing it all together. The heat's still on low. It's bubbling just a little bit. It's looking good. Now we come to the point of adding a sweetener. Now I've already added ketchup, and if you're adding commercially made ketchup, it will be very sweet. So you want to taste this and decide how much extra sweetness you want to add. Some people won't add anything. Some people will want it sweeter, and this is then the next decision is what sweetener to use and what flavor you want it to bring to the barbecue sauce. So molasses is a great one. Brown sugar, which is just white sugar with molasses added back in, another great one to use. Sorghum. Sorghum is absolutely amazing in this. I use sorghum in this all the time. It brings with it a beautiful flavor if you've never had pure sorghum. And you have to make sure that you get pure sorghum. There's a lot of sorghum out there that is sorghum flavor added to corn syrup. A lot like pancake syrup pretends to be maple syrup, but it's just corn syrup with maple flavoring. And to that end, I'm going to add some maple syrup. So you don't want much, you know, maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons. Just enough to bring some sweetness and some flavor. And I love that maple flavor. So we're just going to stir that all together We're going to put this onto a low simmer for maybe 15 or 20 minutes. And yes, I rinsed the ketchup bottle with water so that I could get all of the ketchup out. Okay, I think we're done. So I'll give it a little taste and see where we're at. Now at this point, that's so good. That is so good. There's a tang right at the beginning. And then there's a little hint of sweetness, but not too much. Subtle hint of sweetness. And then you get hit with that pepper. That is absolutely amazing. I love that stuff. And yet, I don't put it on everything that I barbecue. Because oftentimes I just want the meat to speak for itself. Anyway, back to what I was saying. At this point, if you like it a little bit chunky, you can put it into a container and keep it. I think that's just a little bit too chunky for me, so I'm going to blend it down smooth. Okay, we are done. So I'm going to transfer this to a mason jar, and I keep it in the fridge. You don't have to keep it in the fridge. Definitely could just be kept on the countertop, in the pantry, or in the garage. It can be kept pretty much anywhere. So at some point this summer, we'll get out to the barbecue or the wood oven and we'll cook with this stuff. And I'll show you how good it is. But you know what? I could just have that in a bowl on the table and dip bread into it. And I would be a very happy boy. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.